It is great to be here. This is like a reunion of my LinkedIn network all in person here. I'm seeing so many people I used to work with, go to school with. This is just a great community. So thank you for having me today. And I'm going to push the right green button here, if y'all can hear me. A little bit about my background to follow the previous speakers, talking a little about how everybody got into MarTech. I started out as an engineer. I was not a software developer, not computer science. I was actually a material scientist. I worked on silicon, the bluish, grayish substance that gave rise to the name Silicon Valley. Here I was actually working on tangible materials. Got into test and measurement equipment and product management, and just loved listening to customers, tweaking the product, launching new products and watching customers buy it, watching our revenue grow. And that just got me hooked in demand generation and getting more and more into marketing and marketing technology. I now run MarTech and demand analytics at CA. Analytics is so closely tied with marketing technology. Our CEO, our head of sales, our board, they just would not care about MarTech at all unless we can prove that it really is increasing our conversions, increasing our customer interactions, and really showing some numbers and improvements to our bottom line. So I'm just getting sucked more and more into the analytics side of the house. Started using Salesforce.com in 2000 before the concept of leads and campaigns. If any of you use Salesforce.com, I was trying to deliver leads to salespeople without, before all that happened. I've used just about every marketing automation system out there except for a couple that are here. And now I'm getting a little more hands-off with it and more into just generating slides for our company. And then, every widget that connects to marketing automation, I've kind of used over the years. And then I worked in a nonprofit for a few years, the founder of which is sitting here in the audience today at Convio, and they're full all things CRM for nonprofits, so I got another angle on it. I worked at tiny startups, huge companies, Dell, all doing MarTech, demand gen, and then kind of the medium company at CA. And when I'm not working on MarTech, I like skiing. That's me hiking a volcano and Japan's northern island of Hokkaido, which was fun adventure. So I'd love to talk to you about that a little bit after this. CA is a 39-year-old software company. I don't know how many software companies are 39 years old, but company's been around for a long time. I think probably only IBM here in the audience might be older than that. We've been in enterprise software since the 1970s, running workload for mainframe systems for large banks and air traffic control centers and such. And we're going through a huge transformation ourselves, helping businesses really embrace the app economy and become deliverers of high volume apps and transform into software businesses. So it's just amazing to see right now companies like Nike hiring more software developers than sneaker developers these days. Amazon is the biggest cloud service provider and streaming entertainment provider. Tesco, which is a grocery store in the UK, is doing incredible things with software right now. So just watching this transformation and help being part of a company that's fostering that transformation to the app economy is a lot of fun. It's a good place to be. Marketing, of course, is in the software business as well. So why is MarTech and blueprinting a MarTech at CA so interesting? I call CA, it's kind of the Goldilocks company. We're not too small, but we are small enough where we have agile, nimble MarTech team. I say try anything once, fail fast. We really do like to innovate and have some quick turns on things and behave like a startup in some places. And we're not too big, but we do have enough scale of a substantive IT department that supports large-scaled deployments of technology. And we're global, so we can do things all over the world as well. So we're really the right size to innovate, but also do things at scale. So it's been fun in that case. We also are very, very conservative, so we really do push our vendors to ensure that we're staying compliant, staying at the highest possible level of ethics. Because of history 12, 14 years ago at CA, it's had an interesting history, and we're staying at the highest possible level of compliance and ethics. So really, in that case, it's interesting working with vendors to ensure that we're staying, above the fold and all of that as well. Blueprinting starts with the people, and just like Scott. That's me. I'm in Boston. Our MarTech team is all over the world. There's a couple of us in the Boston area. That window, that's the corner of my house, that's about 8 feet off the ground, and the snow piled up, halfway up that window. And it's not melted. Tomorrow is April 1st. There's still snow on the ground. Crazy, crazy winter. But we have no more than 2 MarTech team members in one given location anywhere in the world. So we're spread everywhere. When we get together, we try to have a lot of fun and enjoy ourselves. But managing, lots of complex technology deployments with a worldwide team poses, interesting challenges and the need to really project manage, and blueprint out everything that we're doing and deploying. Definitely, it's a fun team. This represents at least 4 vice presidents, 4 different marketing organizations across the company are represented here. So not everybody reports to me. We're very, very cross-functional, and a lot of our planning has to do with, can we support it, can we deploy it, what kind of technical resources do we have, what kind of people, in the field are willing to accept and run and, use something new. So it's really a lot about our internal capabilities. Who remembers this? Rewinding a little bit to 2003, Nicholas Carr at Harvard, writing in Harvard Business Review, predicted the demise of IT. Way back then, IT would just become a commodity industry that's not very strategic anymore. This caused a huge firestorm. This was before tons of blogging and trolling and everything had taken off on the internet. But I think this helped spur the world of social media, slamming somebody who's written something controversial. And fast forward to 2012, who remembers this one? Same HBR, Harvard Business Review, predicted the demise of marketing. Marketing is dead, IT is dead. What happened? Well, they're kind of together now. They're sort of one and the same. So both have reincarnated themselves as something really, really interesting and very intertwined. And I'm going to tell a quick story on this. Last December, just a couple of months ago, on a Thursday morning, our CA's GIS department, which is our IT department, sent a little email to everybody who uses Salesforce.com saying, hey, heads up, Salesforce is going to be down from Friday night, midnight, until Saturday night. Just, nobody log in then. We are loading up some new capabilities and redoing all of our product hierarchies in our system. So just, stay tuned and come and log back on Sunday. Within about 5 seconds of that note going up, the entire MarTech team was IMing me, calling, my inbox filled up with notes to the effect of how dare GIS do this without consulting us. Our Marketo will break, our lead routing will break, our reports will break. How can they go ahead and just do something so rash? And I had a moment of panic, like, crap, did I miss a meeting where this was discussed? How did this happen? And then I sat back for a minute, thought, this is funny. The tables have turned so much. This used to be IT kind of scolding marketing for putting some new widget in place without consulting them, and now we are more of the process IT team than our own IT department. And we put a stop to that, delayed it for 6 weeks, and then got all of our marketing automation and product hierarchy rebuilt, and all our reporting and all, everything's great. We're included in every meeting with IT now. But it was just a funny moment of saying, our roles have completely reversed almost. And they're so intertwined. Everything, our enterprise systems and billing and customer support is so intermeshed with everything, marketing technology is doing. You can't really separate marketing and IT anymore. So, okay, do an over-under on how many times this is going to show up on people's slides today, and here it is again. The marketing technology landscape. So, I think a lot of these suppliers are in the room today, and I think I'm probably a lead in every single person's CRM system at some point, because I get at least 2 emails a day from a vendor trying to have a conversation with me, and it's fantastic. There's so much great stuff out here. It's like being a marketer, consumer of this is it's like having a gigantic candy store to use. And I've seen, and I call this sort of the vendor Jedi mind trick. Don't want to offend anybody in the room, but I've seen so many times where there's a fantastic marketing message, and yes, I am a great target lead for many new capabilities, and I'm thinking, yeah, we could try this. We do have that need. Yeah, I could free up some budget. That's really cool. Cool idea. That's awesome. But then, I have to step back and say, okay, have we even integrated the latest 2 tools we put on board on our stack? Have we deployed it and trained everybody? Can my team absorb something new without exploding and, breaking? So, we're being very systemic about how we order the capabilities in our stack. And then, everything new that comes along, which is interesting, gets put in a holding bucket of future potential, just like LinkedIn, we're talking about, you need an innovation engine that's looking ahead 12 to 18 months, but we can't absorb everything right away. Our blueprint is just based on answering a few key questions here, and it starts with, again, same thing to reiterate as LinkedIn does. What is our vision for the customer experience and journey? How is this going to help? How is this going to, impact how the customer actually interacts with us? And is this going to improve things? What's the desired state of marketing technology? So the customer journey isn't all technology driven, but how does technology interact? How do our tools actually, impact the customer journey along the way? And then what do we have in place today that helps that? We're always doing inventory. Some of the tools we've purchased are going through evolution themselves. A lot of the vendors we've had for a couple of years have added so many new features and capabilities, so we're constantly doing a reset of, we may not even know what we have today. There may be some new widgets or features that we kind of paid for and we're not using, so we're constantly reevaluating where we are now, and then what's left to add, what's left to plug in. And then, number 4, if there's any takeaway here that's most important, number 4 is so key because, are we really using what we have? And there's so much of, we get probably 20, 30, 40% deployed, move on to the next thing. And I've seen this over and over again where, we could be doing so much more. We're just tapping into the tip of the iceberg of some of the tools that we do have. We have, for example, real-time personalization, RTP, which sits off of Marketo, which can do just unlimited, amazing things with taking any characteristic of people and humans that interact with their site and aligning that with customized views of content that that's put up in front of them. And we're just scratching the surface. So at what level have we actually deployed and used what we have in place? And then, did we deploy it out geographically, everywhere we want in the world? Different tools fit in different places of the world as well. And then enablement. Have we trained? We've got 200 to 300 marketing stakeholders who may interact with every piece of technology we've put in place, plus a few hundred inside sales people in some cases. So we deploy and we launch, and we think we've trained everybody, but have we really? If we go out to the field, to Japan, and sit over the shoulder of marketers there, how are they really using our Marketo, marketing automation? How is inside sales really using all of the tools we're providing them to better understand leads that are coming across? So I think enablement is never finished. Like we heard earlier from Etna, internal selling is never finished either. But enablement is so key, because training once doesn't mean you've deployed it and checked that checklist. It's constant being in front of the folks who are consumers of your technology. Have we integrated what we have? Integration is so key too. And I will say, every new widget or tool that we add exponentially increases the amount of integration needed, because we already have a stack that is complex with multiple pieces together. And adding one more thing is not about just adding that one more thing. It's about integrating points across multiple places. So it's an exponential process for everything that we've added. Are there duplications? Are there some things we're not using anymore? And then just have the roadmap be very sound to align technologies, all the data flows, and everything else we're doing. Customer experience, there's about 100 additional things on here, but at the heart of it, of our technology blueprint is, what do we want customers to think when they're interacting with us? We want them to have a great seamless experience with us being in, B2B. Our leads ideally convert to long-term customers who are happy working with CA. So their experience as leads is the first time they've experienced working with us. So we want, it's critical that they get a good first impression, and that we're on top of it and providing them with, relevant, appropriate, custom content to their needs. And then, we want the light bulb to go off like, oh, it's great. This is what it's like to work with CA. I want to be their customer. So that's what we want, the whole digital technology footprint to really make people want to be, ongoing customers and partners of ours. This is our version of the landscape. So we put all of our technology tools into different stages of the customer journey throughout the process. And some of these are named, some of them are that we've announced partners with, some of them are categories where we haven't put a piece in place yet, but we do everything has its place in the customer journey on our landscape. So I won't get into that one in huge detail for time, but here's the integration piece is so critical, where we're kind of a marketing automation centric, Salesforce.com centric. Everything goes in and out of Marketo, and each of these blue lines, and then I've got some yellow. Hopefully you can see that, but the tools that are already in place, and then in yellow are still pieces of the puzzle that we need to fit in and put on our roadmap. Each of these blue integration lines, and this is a bit of a simplified version, there's layers upon layers of this. Each of these represents, a 200 to 300 step checklist that we have, fantastic PMO, project manager, making sure that all the connection points are coded and tested and planned out, and that we have all the data flows going back and forth in and out of every tool in a way that really helps us and makes it work for us. So I'm going to give one quick example and then hopefully wrap up. So with our blueprint in our events category, we kind of took this live to our big event, that's CA World. This has been going on for about 20 years, CA World, but this past year we really brought our technology and marketing automation kind of front and center at this event. We had a war room of most of our MarTech folks were sitting in a back room. They never made it out to, actually participate in the event. They were kind of holed up in a room. Every minute of every day was prescribed for exactly what data had to synchronize between our event, the badge scanners, polls, and demo interactions, everything going on at the event. We had planned integrations into our Marketo system, and there was one person on point for each hour of the day to ensure and test that all the integrations between all these tools were working out. So it was a technology play, but also a lot of people involved just to make sure that it's all working out. The whole, at the end of the day, the whole point of this was to make sure that everybody who attended our event had custom thank you notes personalized to them, acknowledging what they had done each day and making recommendations for what to do the following day. So there was, very nice kind of personalized recommendation engine built in there based on all these scans and activities. But also once the event was done, and this is, people running marketing events, working for many years, importing lead lists, following the event for salespeople to follow up with. There was none of that. It was already in Marketo, and a huge amount of data on each individual and everything they had done from 4 different technology systems was already right in front of each of our sales reps, real time as soon as our event ended. So all of this planning and blueprinting of the environment of technology really helped, and sales had very good kind of relevant follow-up discussions without having to ask people, what they had done, what they were interested in. So that's kind of our blueprint in action. In summary, what's critical is just, that we do show that we're on top of road mapping all of our tools, that we're, able to communicate outside of the MarTech, people at our company to executives and board, board of directors, and show based on some of the analytics how it's helping your business. Everybody, line of business owners, the MarTech team is not just the MarTech team. It's marketing, it's sales across multiple pieces of the company. So we all work very collaboratively. And then we work collaboratively with IT as well, and with our vendors and partners. So multiple stakeholders in this process. And I also want to acknowledge Scott Vaughn, who we consulted a lot together before this presentation, and he blogs a lot about blueprinting as well. So if you want to look a little bit more at some of what Scott's written, that there's some great stuff there. But that is it. Can find each other on LinkedIn if I haven't yet, and look forward to talking to you all at the break. Thank you.